Okay, hey, sorry I've been gone for so long. I've been busy being super lazy playing RimWorld and Apex. But anyway, I'm back, and I'm gonna be talking about tilting, pressure, stuff like that. I don't actually know. Um, but anyway, this one's of course gonna be quite shorter, uh, than the rest of my stuff because it's not really a massive. It's a big topic, but it's more of a scientific thing, and I'm kind of a dumbass. Uh, anyway, things will be timestamped again as they usually are, so just look for those if I'm at a point where I'm boring you. Anyway, go watch part one if you haven't already, based on general mechanics. Although it's not necessarily important for this one, I'd appreciate if you did. It is, in my opinion, a very good guide. Um, but anyway, that'll be in the description. It's more broad. It covers everything mechanical from, target switching, click timing, tracking, mentality, stuff like that. But anyway, this one will be generally to improve your mental, so to improve overall efficiency and performance when it comes to your brain. Of course, KovaaK's is a mechanics trainer or an aim trainer if you want to call it. So at the end, I'm going to explain how to make the perfect playlist for yourself, so you don't need to follow someone else's, and it can directly affect your own weaknesses rather than just a general playlist that people make for people. Anyway, let's start. There's a few different ways to train your mental or brain, whatever you want to call it, and there's a ton of benefits to doing this, like improving your reaction time, having better memory, a higher attention span, better peripheral vision, just a better mentality towards improvement in general. There's a website called humanbenchmark.com. It's incredibly useful for stuff like this. I personally use it daily at this point. I'll put the link in the description. It'll be on screen as well. However, it doesn't directly relate to what we're actually wanting to deal with, which is pressure, inconsistency, tilt, stuff like that. Most of you probably are very consistent about how inconsistent you actually are. Sorry if that's a little confusing. Most of the time, you're probably, very good for 3 hours, and then you're terrible for the rest of the day. Or maybe you're good for a full day, and then you're awful for the rest of the week. We're going to try and fix that, because it's mostly a mental thing. There's nothing actually changing about you that directly affects how inconsistent you are, unless, I don't know, you have like a really bad injury or something like that. What I'm saying is, you'll have days where you're incredibly good, you'll hit all your shots, your movement is perfect, and stuff like that. And we can set this as your standard, how you normally are with right practice, which is consistency practice. But there's a reason people don't do this practice very often, is because for it to be 100% beneficial, you would have to change diet, sleep schedule, amount of exercise, other parts of your life outside of the game. But since we're probably all lazy, I decided to do it on my own. Let's start with inconsistent flicking. Sometimes you'll overflick a target, then underflick the next target at the same distance as the previous one, and this happens simply because you haven't properly practiced yet, or you haven't practiced enough. The secret isn't some spell before bed or anything. The secret to consistency is slowing down. Seriously, go into your click timing or your target switching practice, but go into your practice and do it, but this time instead of pushing yourself to go faster or anything, go really slow. Like flick at half speed, but be hyper focused, as if you were just doing normal practice. Do this 3 to 4 days a week, 2 or 3 maybe, with these nice slow movements, smooth, straight line flicks, and eventually you will be able to speed up. After a week or two, you'll already see you're far more consistent, especially in your games. You'll see that flick that you never used to hit, or very occasionally hit, is something that's becoming more easier to do. And you'll tilt a lot less, because a lot of whiffing leads to a lot of tilt. And, it gets to all of us, especially me sometimes. I tilt pretty hard sometimes, and I imagine most of you do too. Tilt and pressure are pretty terrible things. They spike adrenaline levels, heart rate, you lose focus, you find it hard to start focusing on the game again after you're already out of focus. You struggle with decision making, flame your team, you whiff more, a ton of other shit that's just really, really bad and we don't want. This will sound obvious, but I know most of you don't do this. I don't think I know anyone that does this, is just chill for a second, you know? Just close your eyes and chill, right? You gotta tell yourself, you know, it's okay, you gotta relax. That past is in the past. Count to 10, count to 5, it doesn't matter, just do whatever you have to do to just completely forget about the game so far. The game has just started. And consistently doing this will genuinely lead to improvements. You'll tilt less, you'll calm down faster, you know, all fantastic things for not tilting in the future. If you do think you're going to flame your teammates though, you can happily flame your teammates all you want, as long as you either don't hold your mic button down or you mute yourself before you say anything. Now, although flaming them in general is bad, even if they can't hear it, because it creates poor behavior, if you feel like you really have to, or you have to let it out, then don't actually say it to them, just mute yourself and then say it. Even though I disagree with saying it in general, if you have to, then you can. You'll also become way faster at letting things go that made you tilt in the first place. Next thing is pressure. You know that heavy weight we feel on ourselves when we're clutching a 1v3? You'll feel your heart race, you may feel cold, you start to feel uncomfortable, wet, you'll doubt yourself. Ultimately, you'll play a lot worse, and it definitely used to tilt me more as well. The reason you feel pressure is because you realize everyone is relying on you to win the round, or the fight. Even yourself is relying on you. And what you need to do is just chill, okay? Just remain calm, telling yourself it's just a game, deep breaths, you know, sitting, closing your eyes, relaxing. You know, it's all a great start to this problem. Think about an anchor, right? Holding you in place, not letting you perform at the level you have to at the time. Then, of course, we can beat this analogy by finding a way to cut away the anchor. Pressure isn't really like an anchor, it's like 1,000 anchors. Each little thing in your mind is its own anchor, and you have to find a way to get rid of them at that time. A way to get rid of a few is start hyping yourself up. You'd be surprised at how effective this is. Getting yourself in the zone and convincing yourself that what you're doing is easy is amazing, because it fills you with confidence, which is a direct eliminator of pressure. Another thing is to remember your practice. Look back at the hundreds of hours of KovaaK's and the time spent in pubs and DMs. Again, this will fill you with more confidence. Another way is to realize the chances of you winning are very low. A 1v3 is a difficult thing to do to pull off, and you have to realize that it's okay to lose a round or a game. There's always the next game after it, where you can work on your flaws even more. Or take a break after your game and come back later when you've cooled off a little bit. And that's really how you deal with pressure. In an extremely basic way. However, we've been talking about pressure like you're in a 1v3. So, what if you're in a 1v1? It's not the same type of pressure, but it's still pressure. And I'm here to tell you just how to fix it as well. When you're in a 1v1, you will win every single time, without fail, because you're the best player in the game. They're just a free kill at this point, because you're thousands of times better, really. Do you see how filling yourself with fake confidence or just confidence in general is incredibly useful? Now, this doesn't mean start going easy or doing things you know you shouldn't just because you're confident. What I'm trying to say is don't be scared to play how you think you should, even if your team flames you. Don't listen to what they say, because what they say is meaningless if it's not constructive criticism. Stop being hurt by what other people say in general, because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. And that's how I deal with consistency and pressure. Sorry it was such a simple explanation, I'm not all scientific. I could be completely wrong, but this is personally what has worked for me. But I'm not perfect and I still make mistakes until it just happens sometimes and I'm still working on it. And for the last thing, it's about making the perfect playlist for yourself. Now, I can't just magically give you all a playlist that fixes everything. But what I can do is tell you to go through a bunch of different scenarios, even the low rated ones or the ones no one plays, and try them out. It's about knowing what you're practicing for that is the important thing. For example, record your own gameplay, see where you go wrong. If you got bad vertical tracking, look for a vertical tracking scenario in KovaaK's or look up on YouTube. You're bad at flicking things in your right and not your left, Go into target switching or click team scenarios, that's 360, so the target's all around you. Spend a day just flicking to the right. Of course, feel free to ask me for scenario suggestions, even comment your problems, I'll try to help you fix them. Even help each other if you can. Everyone here is here for the same reason, so don't be scared to ask for help. Anyway, I'll see you later, guys.